What is up, people? It is me, Monster58, and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Studio Series Bumblebee movie concept art, Leader Class Megatron. This is a figure I've personally been looking forward to for a fair bit ever since they revealed it, because, man, it would have been really cool to see this Megatron design in the actual film, but alas, we did not get that in the film. But we did get some other cool designs, so it's really cool to see, indicative of what we saw and what I reviewed recently of the concept art Rumble, of what they were thinking of. They had already planned to put Megatron in the movie. Unfortunately, it got cut at the last second, it seems, or sometime at some point during the movie's production. But still, I'm really glad we got to see their vision of a essentially G1 reimagined Megatron for a live-action film. And so, taking a quick look at the box here, you can see some very nice artwork of Megatron. The background is obviously of the scene in the movie where Soundwave goes, Decepticons attack with Shockwave and Starscream and Skywarp and Thundercracker when they're on Cybertron in the initial part of the very first part of the movie. You can see Studio Series Concept Art Megatron, number 109. You got the Transformers logo here on the side, Generations as well. Transformers Bumblebee right up there in the corner. Got some more nice artwork of Megatron himself right there. Got some more nice artwork again, Studio Series 109. 109, excuse me, sorry about that. 109 right there. And finally, we have our obligatory product shots of the glorious Megatron himself. Transforms in 32 and 39 steps, because yes, this guy's a triple changer, so we'll address that here. But yeah, overall, really solid box, and honestly, I've just been really looking forward to cracking this guy open and seeing how he is. And so, without further ado, alrighty, folks, here we do have Megatron in his first of his three modes, his tank mode, which I feel Megatron should more or less always be if he's not a gun. I think that a tank works perfectly for Megatron, as been shown throughout other forms of Transformers media, like Transformers Devastation, Transformers War for Cybertron, and Fall of Cybertron. He was a tank in both of those. So yeah, really cool looking tank. When it comes to this, it is kind of just hodgepodge, because unfortunately they really, in my opinion, really laid into their design all on the robot mode, and they kind of just had whatever they could do with the other modes. I'm not saying that this is a bad mode by any stretch of the imagination, which reminds me, I accidentally forgot to do something before I transformed this guy, but yeah, I don't know. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it looks like a tank. As you can see, you have the very nice tank barrel right here. You have the very nice silver paint across the board, this sort of darker gray color here. You have the Decepticon logo right there. You can see his head right there. You can see his head, which kind of sucks, but I mean, little bits of red here for accenting. Overall, I mean, you can even see the detail here on the treads looks pretty cool all around on both sides. And then he doesn't really have any wheels. I mean, he kind of does, but he doesn't really roll all that well. He just kind of slides everywhere. But other than that, taking a look here, you can see some more nice molded in details here at the top. Silver here. Again, this dark gray, the lighter gray. Overall, it's really solid looking. It's just, again, I can't help but think that when I'm looking at this, it also just kind of looks like a robot crumpled up. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. But yeah, it's not that, again, I don't think it looks bad, but yeah, I just feel that that is how this guy looks at the end of the day. And so, with that tank mode out of the way, we're going to do a quick comparison. So, here's Mr. Megatron. And if you guys have that original Bumblebee Studio Series Optimus Prime figure, here we go. And I noticed that his panel is coming off, but do that. There we go. And we do have him with Optimus Prime. As you can see, they actually scale quite well together. Megatron definitely feels heftier, because Leader Class versus Voyager Class. But overall, I do think that these two, obviously, butt heads, right? So this is a really awesome looking scale. And honestly, I am absolutely okay with it. Alrighty, real quick, the last thing I'll show before I transform this guy into his jet mode is the turret is full 360, so you can do full 360. You can look up about that far, down about that far, until this thing starts coming apart. So, it does have some flexibility, and again, there's really nothing else. So, without further ado, let's get this guy into his jet mode. Okay, so this mode, in my opinion, and this transformation from the tank into the jet, and that's how I personally like to do it. I think it's easier to do it like that. I think it's just... You'll see what I mean. It's just kind of a hodgepodge of just crumpling up a transformer. So, getting here, what we're going to do is we're going to untab these sections first, and then we're going to just rotate these up like so, because I think it's just easier to rotate them up like so, and then you can sort of unaccordion these, and then you're going to want to untab this entire section. So this section is generally tabbed in right here, so you're going to want to untab that. And then from here, what you're also going to want to do is you're going to want to take the legs and you're going to want to untab those as well. Take these, so these will become, this is his center crotch piece, so this is this like this before, so fold these up, and what you're going to do is going to fold these up, and then you're going to want to rotate them around like so, and then you're going to want to fold them down as best you can, like this. And then here for the head, what you're going to want to do, this is going to be what becomes the nose section. So flip under here, rotate these out, flip the head up like this, rotate it like this, and then just fold it in like, fold it back down like that. And then you're going to want to fold these panels in like so. And then from here, the legs are something else, man. These legs are kind of wild. So you're going to want to rotate them down like this. And then you're going to want to click them essentially back into place where they are going to be for the robot mode. So we'll just click those back into place. And then what we'll do here for each of the legs, untab this, rotate this around like so. And then what you'll notice is that this thing will accordion, and then there's a tab that's pretty far in. I believe it's this one right here, and then it'll tab into this tab right here, and then you just gotta essentially tab that all into place. A little tricky to line up. Goodness me, I'm sorry about that. You do this off camera over and over again, and then all of a sudden when you get on camera you aren't able to do it. Then take this panel, fold this wing bit down, and then you're going to want to rotate that up. Same thing here, I'm going to actually do that now. And then you're going to want to rotate this up, and then do the same thing. So untab this, rotate this all the way around like so, and then you're going to want to accordion this so that this tabs into place like so. And then from here, what we're going to do is essentially you can untab these and rotate this around. Now, this is really weird. So the way you're going to want to rotate this entire thing is you're going to want to rotate it so that this gray bit is facing where the crotch piece is. So remember, you folded this up. You're going to want to do that. And get these arms out of the way. You're going to want to do that, and you're going to want to rotate it around so that, again, this gray piece is facing this crotch piece. You'll then rotate this around, and you also push these panels in. So in tank mode, these are actually out, so you're going to want to shove them in just a little bit. And then you're going to want to, again, rotate this all the way around so that the gray bits are facing the crotch piece. And then it's so weird how this is. You're going to want to accordion all this, and you'll essentially see that there's a tab here and that there's a notch right there, and then you're going to want to essentially just tab those into place like so. Keep this out like so. Do the same thing here. You're going to want to essentially rotate this so that the tread is facing the back of the jet, and then you're going to want to make sure that these tab into place. Rotate this around, and essentially you kind of have the wings all transformed. From here, what you're going to want to do is sort of push these in as far as you can, and what you'll notice, there is a tab right there, and then there's a hole right there, and you're going to want to like do your best to slot these in. These kind of just are tabs where they just rest in. They don't really tab in all that well. They kind of just sit there. And then now the arms. You're going to want to, you're going to want to accordion this up like so. And what you'll notice here is you'll fold these out. You'll essentially, you have this joint like this, right? So you're going to want to accordion it once down, fold it on that hinge, and then essentially just press this down on top of here like so. Rotate the arms like so. Rotate the arms in, my apologies. Just thinking that. Rotate the arms in like so. That's my bad there. And then from here, this is a bit weird. So, God, this jet mode is just, it's very cumbersome. It's very, very cumbersome jet mode. When you rotate these up, what you're going to want to do is you'll notice that essentially you rotate the forearms like so, where these tabs are facing down, and then you'll notice that there is a tab slot right there, and that's essentially where it rests. And again, it kind of just, like the other tabs I mentioned, they kind of just sit there. And they don't really, like, they kind of just lay in there like this. Then for the cannon, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to rotate it back on that joint, essentially. And then you'll tab these together. Oh, no, excuse me. You don't need to tab those together. Just do this, rotate that around, and then essentially you got the same sort of tab here on this side, and then you'll just do your best to, like, tab this in, essentially. So, you also accordion this. I'm sorry, I'm screwing up on this transformation a fair bit. Do this. You essentially just tab this into place, and everything is coming undone already. Even though I am screwing this up at the same time, it's all sort of coming undone. But then this also has like a little tab, if you can see there, as like a little tab that's supposed to rest in. But even then, like, you can see all this already just coming undone because these tabs weren't meant to like really stick in there all that well. Do this. And you'll do this as well. And this is probably the roughest part about this figure, because I'll tell you, the robot mode in this guy, we'll see that in a few minutes, is fantastic. But yeah, here's his jet mode, and it's okay. It does look cool, especially from the top. I think actually it looks pretty cool. It's just, this is not wing, and that's supposed to be like wing, right? And it just looks funky to me. It's literally just him folded up. And at the end of the day, it still looks cool, but what it reminds me of is the Fallen. I think that when it comes to the Fallen is a perfect example of a figure that didn't have an alt mode, and they sort of had to because, well, it's a Transformer, right? And so when it comes to this guy, I think it's the same thing for his jet mode, and obviously because they probably had some concept art of what they wanted it to look like, but obviously they're really focusing on the robot mode for this. Again, tank mode's good. I always say that when it comes to triple changers, the worst one mode always suffers, and in my opinion, out of the three, this is the jet mode. The jet mode is the one that suffers of these three. So overall, still looks cool. So we'll do a quick comparison. So we'll put him off to the side there. Here he is with Optimus Prime. Once again, as you can see, again, they scale together just fine. Obviously, he's much more wide in this mode in comparison, but yeah, just taking a look there, really nothing crazy in terms of the scale. Like, again, if you have the scale in the tank, you get an idea of how he scales in jet mode, so yeah. Alright, and then taking a look at just some of the detail, I mean, the detail just comes out, I mean, it's just all shifted around. You can see the nose cone does look cool, like this nose part looks very cool. You got the red there on the black. It does look very cool, and again, it's just from the top, it just, like, look at that. It just looks so funky to me. It looks cool, but funky. Again, reminds me of the Fallen. And so, without further ado, I think it's about time to get into the transformation into his robot form. Alrighty, and to do the transformation, it's actually very simple. So you already have the legs. The reason I say this is you already have the legs in the positions they actually technically need to be, because this joint here, these are the hardest, in my opinion. These joints are the hardest to pull apart and to, get them away from their current location. So what you're going to do is you're going to take these, you're just going to untab everything. You're going to rotate it down like so. Same thing here. And then what you're going to want to do, take the arms and rotate them, and then you're going to want to take these crotch panels and fold them out just so you have clearance, and then rotate this all the way around, and then rotate it around so that's facing like this, and then do the same thing here. So rotate this all the way around, rotate there at the thigh so that you can get the black facing forward with the crotch piece here. For the legs, very simple, just accordion these, rotate these around, fold the foot out, and then you're going to want to compress this all, fold this in, and there you have a leg done. So same thing here. You're going to want to untab this, rotate this all the way around, fold the foot out, collapse all that, tab it into place, tab this into place, and there you actually have the bottom half of Megatron already transformed. Then from here, very, very simple actually. So you're going to want to untab these, rotate them out for now, fold the nose cone in, and then fold these up. Make sure you fold these up. That's very important. Then what you're going to want to do, fold the back piece out, rotate this all the way around, tab that into place, and just rotate the head. Then from here, I'm going to accordion this all down. Now, you're going to want to accordion these so that they line up here, like so. And then what you're going to want to do is, what you'll see here on Megatron is you'll see that there are tab holes right there, and right there. And then what you'll notice is that the arms have these, essentially these parts of the shoulders have these tabs on each side, and so you're just going to want to line this all up. Now when you're looking at the top here, what you'll see is this piece, you can see that little hole will tab into that slot there, and then you just got to line these up so that they tab into the chest. Make sure that they're straight. I think actually it's all good. Alright, we have that ready to go. I'm going to move the camera up a bit. And then finally, for the last bit, take these panels, unfold them right there, and then rotate the hand out. Rotate this around, unfold the panel, rotate the hand out, and then you can adjust the fingers as you so wish. Rotate this around, adjust the fingers as you so wish. Like so. Do that. Take the gun, the fusion cannon, rotate that all the way around. Fold this crotch piece down. Take the side panels, the side skirts, rotate them around like that. And ladies and gentlemen, here we do have the Transformers Studios series Bumblebee movie leader class concept art Megatron in his very cool looking robot mode. And guys, at the end of the day, this is a fantastic reimagining of sort of a modern live-action G1 Megatron, and it's just really cool. Like, I think they did a brilliant job of giving us what Megatron still looked like in the original cartoon, while again modernizing it. So taking a look at it, and you can see his head sculpt is glorious. Absolutely amazing. I wish there was a little more dark detail in there, but for the most part, all the silver is great. You can see the eyes as well. Like, look at that head sculpt. That is amazing. That's an amazing head sculpt. Very, very cool. Again, retains the Megatron look. Decpticon logo with the silver right there. Got some more silver bits going down here. Got the red as well. Very nice and prominent. Got some more around here as well. And then you have the very nice fusion cannon. Obviously iconic to Megs himself. Then you got the nice crotch piece. Again, silver for the side skirts here. A little bit of black there for the knees. Silver as well. Going down for the thighs, excuse me, these are the knees here. You have the very nice silver on the knees. Again, all of that really amazing detail really does come out here in the robot mode. And then the other thing I'd like to point out is he's very clean. As you can see, he does not have really any backpack whatsoever. And so this is a very clean, very cool looking robot mode. So really nothing to complain about here. And in terms of accessories, unfortunately, the only thing he does come with is the fusion cannon, but really, does he need anything else? Like, at the end of the day, I don't see a Megatron really needing all that much else besides his fusion cannon. So you can remove it, and as I showed you, you do have several hinges with it, so you can do this, and then this is also a hinge. So very cool. Like, it's very interesting how they did it. So, and then you have the nice red right there. So overall, very nice fusion cannon, and I'm very, very happy with it. You can plug it in on either arm. Just got the 5mm tab right there, so you can plug it in on whatever arm. But of course, why would you not put it on his right arm? And so yeah, Megs looks fantastic in his robot mode, and this is definitely where they absolutely knocked it out of the park when it comes to this figure as a whole. So without further ado, we're actually going to do a comparison again, as you guys will probably understand who it already is. So we're going to set Megs off to the side there. Alrighty, folks, and here we have the Studio Series Bumblebee Concept Art Leader Class Megatron with Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee Studio Series, but obviously a Voyager. These two look very good together, although I do think that Prime could stand to be literally like this much taller, still shorter than Megatron, but it's still fine. I think these two scale together perfectly fine. Again, I just personally wish that maybe Prime was a tad taller. Otherwise, no real complaints with the scale here. Alrighty, folks, and with that out of the way, it's time to get into the articulation, which is absolutely fantastic on this guy. So, getting into it, first things first, let's take a look at the head. The head is on a ball joint, so you can do a full 360. You can't look really down all that well, but you can look up a fair bit. And then for the arms, you can do a full 360 with those. They have a rotation at the top here. They have a rotation at the elbow as well. And then you do have more than 90 degrees here at the elbow. And then the wrists also swivel. And then you do have individually articulated fingers. So taking a look here, you do have this one finger, then you do have the three put together on two separate joints, so you can have like a little bit of a bend there. And other than that, yeah, that's it for the hand. You do get obviously full waist, which is very, very good. No ab crunch or anything like that, but you can lift these side skirts up, and then you can lift these front panels up as well for the front skirts, so you can get the full forward, you can get full back, you can get way more than 90 here at the knee. You do have upper rotation here at the thigh, and then you do have some pretty solid ankle rocker. Not the best ankle rocker pivot, but you do have ankle rocker regardless. And so overall, when it comes to Megatron's articulation, this guy is absolutely fantastic, and you can basically get this guy into pretty much any pose that you ever would want him to be in. So really, really cool there. So very, very happy with the absolute insane articulation that this figure has. Alrighty, and time to get into the reverse transformation, and where I will go is to the tank mode. So to get to the tank mode really isn't all that bad, way easier than the jet. So getting here from the robot mode to the tank mode, first things first, I like to do, you're going to lift these up, and then what you're going to want to do is I want to do the legs. So we're going to fold these out, we're going to just rotate these around to give yourself some clearance. Don't worry, these will be rotated back around eventually. Now what you're going to want to do is unfold these wing bits here, because I like to get them out of the way, and then you're going to want to untab the legs here, decompress this essentially, fold the foot in, accordion this around. I'm just going to want to compress that there. So again, what you'll see, very similar. There is a tab hole there, and then there is the tab right here. And then what you're going to want to do is just do your best to tab that all into place, and then just make sure that lays down like so. Fold this back down, and then you're going to want to take this panel and fold it up like so. Do the same thing here. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to untab this, fold the foot in, accordion this around, and then we're going to shove that back down, tab that into place, get everything lined up here, make sure it's all tabbed in, rotate this down as well. And then what we're going to want to do, fold these panels up so you can get some clearance, pull these out from the thigh bits essentially. Then you're going to want to rotate these side skirts back around and just fold them down like so. And then from the top here, very simple, what you're going to want to do, untab this entire top section here, and then what you're going to want to do, untab this section, rotate the head 180, and then you're just going to want to untab this and then just rotate this down like so. Well, you can leave it, I honestly, either way, you can leave it like this, and then you can just rotate it like this. And then what you're going to want to do, fold these panels out. Then from here, rotate the legs, rotate them all the way around, and then what you'll notice is that there is a tab right there, and then there's a tab hole right there, so you're just going to line these up like this, tab those into place. Same thing here, so you're going to want to rotate this around like so, and you're just going to want to tab that into place. Take these sections and then pull them down. So you have some tabs you can grab here on the sides. You can just pull these treads down. Then from here to do the arms, very simple. So we're going to fold these. Now you're going to want to crumple the fingers up as best you can. So you'll see how I have them here. So I will fold the finger into the thumb, and then you're going to want to push these three fingers all the way down to give this clearance to rotate in. Do the same thing here. You got to make sure you do this, because if you don't, unfortunately, the hand will not rotate correctly into the slot where it's supposed to be for transformation. So do that. Then push the fingers all the way down, rotate this in, fold that in. What you're going to do, fold these down, essentially rotate them around like so. And then what you're going to want to do, very weird, so very similar to the jet, but you'll notice there is a tab right here, and then there is a hole right inside of there, and you're just going to want to, they're meant to angle tab like this, and then all you have to do, so you can keep this rotated, you're just going to want to rotate these forearms in. Then want to accordion this down, rotate this in, and then you're just going to want to angle these, and then what you'll notice is that this tab will go into the 5mm hole on the other side of the other arm. So tab those in together, give this a squeeze, do that. And ladles. Next thing you're going to want to do, last thing, sorry, I was going to say we're finished, but no, you have this little tab here, and it essentially hooks into this section. So you'll feel a click. It just takes a little bit of doing. There you go. You'll feel a click. Nothing crazy there. I'm going to retab that. I don't know why that became untabbed, but... Oh, whoops. That's why. So you're going to want to do this, and then you're going to want to make sure that the black part's facing the top. It gives it more clearance there. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen... Oh, did that get untabbed? Yeah, this section likes the untabbed favorite. But there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, here we do have the Transformers... tab into place. There we go. Finally, I keep trying to say it. Ladies and gentlemen, here we do have the Transformers Studio Series. Leader Class, Bumblebee movie, concept art Megatron back in his tank mode. So, ladies and gentlemen, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Studio Series Bumblebee movie Leader Class concept art Megatron, I first want to say that I apologize for the very disjointed and unorganized nature of this video. I'm kind of strapped for time, so this is the only time I have to record this review, so my apologies for not like remembering certain parts of the transformation, or just everything being a little disorganized. So I apologize for that, and I hope you guys can understand. I'm just a little strapped for time. But other than that, getting into the actual figure itself, I think this is a fantastic figure all around. The only things that really get to me primarily are just the transformation stuff, as well as the sort of lack of a jet mode, if you want to call it like that. Don't get me wrong, I do think that both alt modes look cool in and of their own right, but I think that out of the three modes in general, the robot, the tank, and the jet is the one that suffers. The tank is actually pretty solid all around. It looks great and it functions well. The jet just looks great and it doesn't function well at all. It doesn't like to stay tabbed together. It doesn't like to, it doesn't feel like it wants to stay tabbed together, and it just feels like if you accidentally knock it around just a little bit, unfortunately, it'll just get completely, ruined, right? At the end of the day, that does really suck, but it's still a really, really solid jet mode in terms of its looks. The robot mode is by far the star player. It looks fantastic. It is a great reimagining of Megatron in a more modern live-action sense by still giving him the G1 characteristics that he was known for. In addition, the fusion cannon looks fantastic. His articulation is amazing, and the paint is also stellar on this figure. There could be a little more paint in certain areas, but for the most part, it's honestly really, really solid. So if I have to give this figure a score out of 10, I'm probably going to give it between an 8 and a 9, more towards an 8, just because the transformation parts, especially getting from tank to jet, can be really, really frustrating. But otherwise, the transformations themselves really aren't necessarily complicated in the more of the way that they're frustrating. So I did pick mine up on the Big Bad Toy Store, so I'll leave a link in the description to that. Also look for Hasbro Pulse as well as Amazon links as well. And with that, guys, yeah, I think that's about it. So I thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe. Share this video with your friends. Also follow me on the socials. Those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, and once again, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and to catch you all in the next one. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace.